Speedrunning has become really popular due to the introduction of live stream sites like YouTube and Twitch. Just watching someone play through a game that you thought you knew everything about, and you played countless times, just to watch them beat it in a quarter of the time and make it look easy is insane. I feel a lot of people don't give enough appreciation to speedrunners. The amount of time that goes through planning out the best way to beat the game in the smallest amount of time, and the skill to do some insane tricks, is often really overlooked. Whenever I replay a game, I usually end up beating it in a small amount of time, but that's because I have prior experience with the game. I don't think I'd ever want to legitimately speedrun a game. Not saying that speedrunning a game couldn't be fun, as I don't mind trying to beat games quicker when I replay them, but definitely not to the extent of speedrunning the game. Speedrunning a game requires a lot of time, not just understanding everything the game has to offer, inside and out, but the countless amount of times you have to replay the game over and over to get better. Whenever I play a game, I try to enjoy myself. I check out a lot the game has to offer and play at my own pace. But with speedrunning, you can't do any of that at all. All that matters is getting from point A to point B, and playing a game in a very limited way isn't very enjoyable to me. Saving any amount of time in a speedrun, no matter how little it is crucial. Let's say you were speedrunning a game, and a part in it required you to microwave something for 1 minute. So every time you got to this part, you'd punch in 100, and you enjoyed punching in 100 every time. But one day, someone discovers that you can just punch in 60, but you don't like doing it that way at all. Well, too bad, it doesn't matter. Now that every other speedrunner is punching in 60 seconds rather than 1 minute, if you don't punch in 60 seconds every time, that instantly puts you at a disadvantage, regardless of how little amount of time is saved from only needing to hit 0 once rather than twice. However, some people enjoy speedrunning and see it as the only way to truly enjoy a game, and I can totally see why people would believe that, as you would know every little thing about the game, inside and out. But to me, that just takes away a lot from why I enjoy playing games. But, on the other hand, watching someone else speedrun a game is highly enjoyable, as there's no way I could watch someone speedrun a game and then do it myself 2 minutes later without practice. But where did the whole idea of speedrunning start? One of the first documented speedruns was in 1982 of Todd Rogers' 5:51 time on Dragster for the Atari 2600. Over the years, however, a lot of people started to think that the time was faked, and in the past few years, it was discovered from analyzing the code of the game that the lowest possible time is a 5:57. Back when the game was first finished, the game developers tested out the shortest amount of time in the game and got a 5:54, so a time of 5:51 was a surprise to them. And apparently, Rogers was flown out to see the game developers and was able to do it in front of them in person. So, from history, the quickest time is a 5:51, but from looking at the code of the game, and people still playing the game today, the lowest is a 5:57. Speedrunning seems straightforward. Just go from the start of the game to the end of the game, and that's it. But there are a few different ways to speedrun a game. The two most common ways to speedrun are any percent and 100%. Any percent is get to the end of the game by any means necessary, and 100% is the exact same thing, but requires 100% of the game. These are the two most common ways to speedrun a game, but glitchless runs are just as popular. They are more of a set of rules attached to a speedrun that say you can't do any glitches while playing the game. These types of runs are easily set on a lot of games, but aren't the only ones around. Depending on the game itself, and how many people are playing, a bunch of different runs are made. Due to its popularity, Super Mario 64 has 5 main ways to speedrun the game. The main two being 120 star, which is every star in the game, 70 star, which is the minimum required amount of stars to beat the game without glitches, but with the use of glitches you could beat the game with 16 stars, 1 star, and even beat the game without grabbing a single star. Even with a bunch of ways to speedrun a game, people have still taken it one step further. Task runs, or tool-assisted speedruns, are done by feeding a program a set of inputs. Then it plays those inputs back perfectly, making for the, in theory, fastest way to beat the game. Certain speedrunners like to make a run harder by trying to beat the game completely while blindfolded, or trying to beat 2 games at once with a single controller. These aren't the most common ways to speedrun, and are seen more as challenges to do for fun, but are definitely entertaining to watch. Speedrunning has become extremely popular due to the introduction of Awesome Games Done Quick and Summer Games Done Quick. These are charity marathons that bring together a bunch of speedrunners to speedrun games on stream in order to raise money for charity. They have been highly successful and have been raising over $1 million every single year since 2014. And just this year, they have raised over $3 million in a single marathon, which is insane. It's amazing to see such a great thing happen just from people playing and watching the games they love. Even though I don't have any interest in speedrunning games myself, they're still really cool to watch. I highly recommend watching a stream online to really understand what I mean about the skill that goes into it. And who knows, you may end up liking it, and you may find a new way to appreciate games.